Hi everybody, welcome back to In The Huddle. I'm Jillian Kushner. Today is going to be a different video. We're going to do a kind of discussion topic, let you guys know my thoughts about something, then I want to hear y'all's thoughts. But before you go, please subscribe below and like the link in the description box, and let's get started. So this discussion topic was actually submitted by a viewer, and I really liked the idea of it. The discussion topic was he heard a comment that compared the NFL Combine to selling slaves. And I thought this was really interesting for many reasons. If y'all didn't know, I minored in African American Studies when I was in college at the University of Texas. And we actually discussed this in one of my classes. The discussion we had in my class didn't compare the NFL Combine to slavery, but sports as a whole. It's a plantation mentality, basically, and it's true when you start to think about it. So let's break it down. When we're talking about sports in this context, we're really talking about basketball and football, both at college and professional level, males sports, obviously. And the plantation mentality is really stemmed from the fact that just about every person on that field or on that court is black, and almost nobody in the management is black. So you're looking at these teams, 95% black, with white coaching staff, white GMs, white owners, everyone's white. You look in the stands, and sporting events have a majority white audience. A ticket to sporting events is really expensive. A lot of people don't want to go, so it's kind of something really for people of, I'm not going to say wealth because it's not super expensive, but some sort of wealth, which typically ends up being predominantly white people. You know, when you see black people in the stands at basketball games, football games, it's usually they are related or friends of players on the field. It's not really a huge outing in black culture to be going to sporting events, where it's very prominent in white culture. So you're thinking about this, just think about it this way. You have basically 95% black people on this court or on this field playing this game. You have white people who are controlling it and white people sitting there clapping away, enjoying the game. It is very reminiscent of slave times. If y'all know this at all, a lot of times slave masters used to have their slaves fight each other to the death. It was kind of something that they enjoyed. If you watch Django, it happened in there. I don't know why, but they liked to pin slaves against each other. They would put bets on it, stuff like that, and that's a lot of what sports these days is reminiscent of, which is pretty horrific. And I'm not saying you don't have to enjoy sports. Obviously, I love sports, y'all should know this, but we can't deny the correlations that we see here because they're pretty obvious. So let's now get back to the Combine, and you're looking at the Combine, and let's map this out now. You are testing these athletes on their skills, seeing which of these teams wants to pick them out. So let me think about it this way. Like I said, predominantly black. You have all these black athletes jumping, running, showing their athletic ability, while these white, scouts in the stands are sitting there taking notes, seeing which one they like, which is very, very reminiscent of a slave trade. Back, during slave trades, you would put the slaves up on these little podiums. Their masters would show, what they can do, their athletic ability, how they're built, how strong they are, that type of stuff. So not really athletic ability, but more so strength, if they'd be good, lifting things, doing yard work, that type of stuff. And, the white slave masters would sit there and pick which one they like, and then they'd select him. And it's kind of like their own little NFL draft or NBA draft, and it's kind of a scary thing to think about because it's very reminiscent. And some of you might think this is a stretch, I'm reaching too far, and you can have that opinion. That's your opinion to have, but I see it differently. Yes, these guys are making millions of dollars, but that's just simply covering up what it actually is. You can't say that what I'm saying is wrong. You can't disagree with me that it's predominantly white ownership, predominantly white coaches, predominantly white audience, and predominantly black players. The way it looks is very reminiscent of past times. And I'm not saying that we need to abolish sports or anything like that. I'm just saying we need to kind of see that there's a correlation here, and it's a little scary, and we are kind of in some bad territory. Another thing that's reminiscent of the slave trade is when these athletes are just traded. They are literally traded like property. It's unbelievable. You think that they weren't people. You think that they didn't have families to move and houses to find and all this stuff to take care of when they move. They're just traded around like objects. And I know that's part of the sport, and that's how things work in sports, but it's very weird. It's very reminiscent of different things. And again, I'm not saying abolish sports. I don't want to abolish sports. I love sports. But there's some weird similarities here that I think that need to be acknowledged and discussed, and I found it very interesting when I learned about this in class, and I hope you guys find this interesting as well. Again, I'd love to hear your thoughts, so please comment below or comment on the Facebook page, whatever, tweet me, whatever you want to do. I'd love to hear what you guys think about this. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next week and have a great weekend.